Hello, I'd like to go over 11 and 7 and why I feel they're important and they're keys to some hidden knowledge that has been kept from us. Um, First of all, um, I'd like to start out with 7, and 7 divided by 1 um, equals 0.142857. Very important string of numbers. Um, 11 and 7 and 11 and 7 as a fraction equals 22 over 7. Uh, very, very interesting fact about 22 over 7 is it's built into our bodies. Wikipedia says we have 22 uh, skull bones, and in our skull we have 7 orifices, 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, 1 mouth, and 22 divided by 7 equals 3.142857. It goes on indefinitely, transcendentally. Um, Another interesting thing comparing this number to the human body is the piano that has 88 keys that plays our 7 hearable octaves. And we play the piano with our 28 fingers, and 88 divided by 28 equals 3.142857. And 11 divided by 7 plus 11 divided by 7 equals 3.142857. Sequence comes up a lot. Um, there's a lot of interesting things going on with these numbers. Um, I call it rational pi as compared to irrational pi, 3.141592 and 3, and it goes on. And rational pi, if you subtract and find the difference between it, the difference between the two numbers is 13 thousandths of 1%. Breaking down the number into its counterparts, 1 is the first, is a true prime. It's actually the only real prime. Um, 1 is itself, so um, hence it's the only it's the only real true prime. All other primes are composite primes made up of other numbers. Um, Looking at the next number in our sequence is the 4, and 4 isn't a prime number, but it falls between 3 and 5, the second and third primes, a split prime. 2 is the first prime. 8, again, another number that isn't a prime, but 8 plus the 4 equals 12. 12 falls between 11, which is the fifth prime, and 13, the sixth prime. 5, the next number, is the third prime, and 7 is the fourth prime. Now, looking at it through Nikola Tesla's eyes, 3, 6, and 9, and believe me, there's a lot of them in there, but 1 to the 8, and 4 to the 5, and 2 to the 7, all offset evenly. 1 and 8 equal 9, 4 and 5 equal 9, and 7 and 2 equal 9. And 142 plus 857 equals 999. Breaking those numbers down, again, the 1 and the 8 is 18, another split prime between the 7th and 8th primes. 4 and 5, 45, is another number falling between the 14th and the 15th prime. And 2 and 7 is another split prime falling between the 9th and the 10th prime. Going into this number a little bit further, 142, if we take the first 11 primes, excluding 7 and 11, they add up to 142. And 7 and 11 are the 4th and 5th prime. 4 and 5 equal 9, and 7 plus 11 equals 18, and 1 and 8 equal 9. 7 and 11 are 1 and 1, which equal 2, will reveal the number 72. And 72 comes from the name of God, the 72 names of God in Hebrew. 22 plus 7 equals 29, and 2 and 9 equal 11. Another interesting thing is the Bosnian pyramid of the sun, supposedly 722 feet tall, 722. Looking at the next part of the number, which was 857, if you take the first 23 primes, excluding 7 and 11, and we add the first true prime to it, it adds up to 857. Which the scale of the Great Pyramid is 11 in width by 7 in height. Also, the name of God that adds up to 72 is supposedly was transcribed on the capstone of the Great Pyramid. And again, 142, 857 added together add up to 27, which is the exact inverse or mirror of 72, and 2 and 7 equal 9. If we take 142,857 and we take 7, or number 7, the 4th prime, and we add that to each of the digits, and I'm going to add these using the digital root of the number. So I'll go over the first of the things. It's the same as the mod 9 function on a computer, except for a computer doesn't recognize 9 between a 0, so anything that adds up to 9 will give a result of 0, because it's actually showing you the remainder. If you divide a number by 9, what's the remainder is what mod 9's doing. I prefer to just use the root of the digital root of the number, which is easily arrived by just adding numbers together and reducing it till you come to a single digit. So 1 and 7 equal 8, 7 and 4 equal 11, which is 2, 1 and 1 is 2, 2 and 7 equals 9, 8 and 7 equals 15, 1 and 5 equals 6, 5 and 7 equal 12, 1 plus 2 equals 3, and 7 plus 7 equals 14, and 1 plus 4 equals 5. And that'll give us the next set of numbers. And this sequence can go on. You can add 7s to these and go on and on with the sequence. You'll always come out with the same type of results. I go into it a lot further on some other pages. But 829 and 635, looking at 829, if you take the first prime plus the 27th through the 33rd prime, adds up to 820. 9. The second sequence of 635 is the 14th through the 23rd prime minus 1, the true prime, equals 635. Plus 1 up here and minus 1 on the second sequence, which has got to do with completion and rolling over, just like when we count. We go from 9 to a single digit to 10. It rolls back over to the 1. One, 4, 2, 8, 5, 7. Just if you add 1, 4, and 2, they equal 7. And 2, 8, 5, and 7 equal 22, which brings us back to 22 divided by 7, which is rational pi. Another coincidence here is Jesus in the gematria based on the 7 days of creation adds up to 27. And with this number, and part of this number, why this is such an interesting number, is if I take rational pi and a royal mile, which is more or less a nautical mile, it's slightly off from a nautical mile. Again, elitists or Satan likes to hide things by giving us very close approximations of the number that don't quite add up, but are very, very close. Mathematically, 13 thousandths of 1% is a pretty small amount. The same thing with the nautical mile is slightly different than a royal mile. But a royal mile is 8 divided by 7, which equals 1.142857. And using two transcendental numbers, rational pi and a royal mile, if we measure the Earth in radius, diameter, circumference, area, surface, and volume, all answers are in whole numbers. There's no decimal places. 4 divided by 3 times pi times the radius cubed. Very complex math for two transcendental numbers to all come out with whole answers. Just a taste of 7 and 11 and why I feel they're important numbers to look at. An enigma wrapped in prime numbers. Thank you for listening.